All right, good morning. I think we are live on Facebook. We've got people coming in. Good morning, you guys. As we are waiting for more of our friends to hop on, go on and throw in the chat today. Good morning. Where are you tuning in from? What are you grateful for this morning? As we always love to practice gratitude every morning. So excited to be on. We see those numbers start to rise. And welcome, you guys. Welcome to day 3. So excited to be on. How's everyone doing this morning? We can't believe it's already day 3, halfway through the series. We're almost to the end. It starts quick. It always goes by so quick, but it's been such an incredible time with everyone so far. So I'm excited to be on. I am honored to be hosting you guys today. For those who don't know me, my name is Michelle Bomba. My husband and I, Josh, have been coaching for a little over 4 years now. And Optavia, you guys, has been the biggest blessing to us. Before we really get started today we're going to have another incredible, impactful day, as every other day has been. Today is going to be absolutely incredible. But before we get started, okay, you guys ready for this? We have an incredible, special birthday today. Okay, you guys ready for this? So I want every single person on Facebook, those are Facebook Live, in this Zoom chat, we are going to wish this incredible woman a very, very happy birthday. So everyone throw in the chat and wish Miss Karen Elstrom a very happy birthday today. Without this incredible woman, the majority of us would not be here on this call today. So keep it going, guys. Keep it going. We love you, Karen. Happiest birthday, because literally, I mean, she's honestly been the person there that has led us the way. You're such a blessing to all of us. And we're forever grateful for you and everything that you've done to really lead the path to this beautiful life that so many of us get to live now. So happiest birthday. We love you all. I love it. The chat is blowing up. All right, so let's get going, you guys. So here we are, we're day 3, and I want to ask you guys, how many of you have had some kind of breakthrough over the last 2 days of training? Share in the chat if you've had some kind of breakthrough, because I know that this has been such an incredible training so far. It's been something different than something that we've never done before, because as you're seeing, we're not only going through the 6 habits of transformational leadership. That's really, I wouldn't say required, but something that we want to live by, right? Because we are Optavia and this is part of who we are. And so we're really diving into these habits, but we're also diving into the transactional and the transformational side of coaching. Because let me tell you guys, from a standpoint of an integrated presidential business, you do need both. Sometimes we come into coaching and we're stronger in one than the other, and that's completely okay, right? I mean, I started off stronger in one than the other. But you want to, really have those skill sets moving forward into both, of these sides of our business. So yesterday we really ended about finding our structure, right? Kelly did an incredible job going over structure, creating structure, having it be our friend. Well, today we're going to get into something that sometimes isn't our friend either. And that is obstacles that come in our way, right? How many of us have had obstacles throughout our Optavia journey through life? Obstacles are something that happen in our life, and we all want to grow. Yes, I know that's why we're all here, because we're all here to grow our business by at least 2 points, if not more. And I know that Jamil and Karen, the last 2 days, they started off with such incredible stories. I mean, they're absolutely amazing in that. And I'm here to tell you guys, I am not a storyteller. I would love to be, but that is just not my strong suit. So no storytelling today, but what I am here to do is to help you create your own story. Are you guys cool with that? To help you create your own story through Optavia, because your story is going to change over and over and over again. So sometimes we do get to a point, you guys, where we are in our business, and we're thinking, man, maybe our goals aren't super fresh anymore, right? Maybe it's been a while since we've even set our goals, or maybe we were so excited at the beginning, and now, maybe that's kind of like wearing off. Or sometimes we're feeling like we're hitting these obstacles along the way, or we're hitting this wall of emotions, and maybe life has happened. Emotions happened, emotions are coming in, obstacles are getting in the way. So let's really dive in and talk about that. Let's talk about, how we do get into a place in our life and in our business where we're moving forward, we're creating the structure, we've got the goals, things are going a certain way, and then boom, right? We have something that happens one week. Maybe we have an off week, or we start to find some obstacles that are getting in the way. Maybe there's some disappointments, there's some discouragement, discouragements and tend to creep up. So how do we really face going into that? Sometimes we really put this wall up, but how do we really work through that? How do we work through it and not let it paralyze us, right? A lot of times the obstacles come in the way and it paralyzes us. So how do we not let that happen, right? Because I don't want to be in a place in my business where the growth is going and then something happens and then I don't want to go back to where I was, say earlier this year or even last year. I want to keep moving forward. I want to keep creating that life that I want. I want to keep pursuing those dreams that I have in mind. And so if I can really speak freely to you guys, many coaches, what happens when we come through obstacles, something happens, we're having a bad week, or there's an obstacle that comes in our way. Sometimes we allow that obstacle to stop us entirely. We give up way too quickly. We're all seeking growth, but we're allowing the obstacles to really stop us in our track. So today, my friends, it is all about breakthrough. We are going to be talking all about seeking growth and embracing obstacles as the way. And that is our habit 3 of our transformational leadership is we seek growth and we embrace obstacles as the way. Now, I may be talking to some of you that are maybe thinking, man, like, I don't think I've had any obstacles, or, I don't think, I'm this far into my business and I haven't, gone through anything yet. Well, maybe you're not setting your goal high enough, right? Maybe we're not serving enough people. So at this point, it is time to dream bigger, my friends, okay? Because as we dream big, as we have these huge goals, we're going to run into a ton of obstacles, okay? So I want everyone to write this down. You guys ready? Write this down. Obstacles are not only to be expected in this business, but they're to be embraced. Again, obstacles are not only to be expected in this business, but to be embraced, because we're going to go through them. And it's about what we do as we work through them that's going to allow us to grow, because there is a gift in every obstacle. These obstacles are actually opportunities to test ourselves, to try new things, and ultimately to triumph, right? And to just lead the way, because the obstacle is the way. Again, the obstacle is the way. If we are the obstacle, which in most time in this business we are, then we are the way. So what stands in the way becomes the way. So we're going to experience obstacles. We're going to experience failures, difficulties, disappointments, and we can't avoid them. But what we can do is we can choose how to respond to them. And in those moments and seasons, I want you to ask yourself, will I crumble or will I rise? Which one is it going to be? And I hope that each time you do choose to rise, because there's something so much more beautiful at the end of that, on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that obstacle. There's something so beautiful for you to learn and for you to go through. So I want you guys to really start to think as we're going through today of how, maybe we presented some obstacles in our way and how we can really start to overpower them, how we can really start to see that the obstacle is there for us to grow. Typically, if you run into an obstacle, it's because that is an area that we need to grow in. And let me tell you, as you're building to an IPD business, if that is your desire, you're going to come through a lot of obstacles. It does not come easy. As much as we would love it for it to come easy, it's not going to come easy. But you know what? At the end of that, there has always been growth after each obstacle that we have faced. And it just becomes that much more beautiful and that much more of an incredible story for us to tell, that people see that, you know what, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to have this incredible to be a business that's perfect with never an obstacle in the way. No, I don't think that's ever happened, and it's never going to happen. So I'm excited for today. We're going to bring on some such incredible people who are really going to share their gifts with you as we go through this powerful day. And I feel like this is such an incredible day because of the fact that we all go through this, right? And sometimes we allow those obstacles to stop us in our tracks, to stop us from continuing to pursue what we want, to contend for our dreams, for our goals, and what it is that we do want. And so I hope that today's breakthrough for you. and that we can just kind of move through these. And so it's going to be exciting. And I'm excited to, you know, actually lead this one because it's one of my favorite habits. Because guys, we've all gone through the obstacles, right? It's just what you do with them, and it really helps you grow. So first up, I'm excited. Let's get this started. First up, I really want to bring on just an incredible coach who's really just opened up her heart, and she's really going to share how this habit of transformational leadership has really showed up in her business. So I'm excited to bring on the incredible global director, Ms. Joy Avini. So Joy, go ahead and take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. And nothing better than starting my day with all of you. And I'm so honored because this is actually my favorite habit of transformation. We seek growth. We embrace obstacles as the way. And what's really interesting about this as growth is becoming, transforming, right? And then obstacles are what hinders us, what stops us. So it's an oxymoron. It's completely opposite of one another. But as you grow into leadership, it merges, and you work through that and you rise above it. And like Michelle said, it becomes, I kind of joke and say obstacles are like a gift that's just badly wrapped, because they do define you and you have a choice. You can say, oh, it's happening to me again. Oh, I can't believe, you know what, this isn't for me, right? Oh, it's bad luck. Or, wow, how do I learn from this? How do I take this and pass it on from my experience and help someone else that's going through it? So I wanted to just give you like real-time obstacles or perceived obstacles in my business. And I wanted to start with 4 of them because I looked at them as being very large obstacles. Number 1, I didn't have a weight loss story. So I had a lot of chatters. How am I going to help people? How am I going to serve if I don't have a weight loss story? Justin helped me through that. Number 2, I wasn't on social media. I didn't want to be on social media. That was not an interest to me. 3, I came from a very private community, not the most supportive. My mom and friends, not supportive. That's just how it was and how my circle, right? And number 4, I was in a very challenging relationship. So those were my obstacles, or I say perceived obstacles, when I started coaching and when I decided to move forward. But I wanted to share that a big part of that for me to move forward with those perceived obstacles was my why. My why was so strong. So I want to just share a little bit of how I came about my why, how I came to coach 3.5 years ago. I was in corporate America. I had a fashion career, 20 plus years, and I loved it. I traveled the world. But at having 10-year-old twins, I was ready to slow things down, and I was burned out, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And so I decided to jump on the program. 6 weeks later, I felt amazing. And I had been watching Justin, and I'm watching Justin and Jamil and the businesses they're growing. And to be honest with you, I did not start to build a business because I wanted to serve people. I love people. That wasn't my primary goal. My primary goal is I saw an opportunity because I didn't know what was going to happen in my home. And I saw possibility, flexibility, and mobility. And that was exciting to me. So this was purely a business opportunity. So I wasn't in a space to see obstacles as a gift. It was kind of a victim mentality and a victim approach. But what kept me going was my strong why. That was infallible. I partnered with my children. I told them what we were building together, and I would not walk away from that. So that drove me. So now that I start coaching, now I have more obstacles. Remember, perceived obstacles. I haven't done the work, but my why is so strong, I'm not going to stop. So I was having trouble. I wasn't able to really set up practice calls. I wasn't bringing on clients. So we decided, Justin and I, let's just do a Facebook launch. Just get you out there. You know, I have social media presence now. So I do my Facebook launch. It's like a couple hundred like likes and comments, but I saw something I didn't like. Someone made a comment I didn't like, and I went to delete it, but I deleted my whole Facebook launch. Needless to say, I didn't bring on a client. It took me a couple months to hit senior coach. It took me 8 months to hit ED, and I was still in my very challenging relationship. But something beautiful happened called March Madness. This is where for 30 days, and I think a lot of you have been on one of these madnesses where they breathe life in us. It's personal growth coupled with building business and transformational, transactional. And I fell in love with everyone. I fell in love with the program. So now it was my heart and my head, and now they were connected and nothing was going to stop me. And that's where I looked at, wow, these obstacles. And you learn that when you have an obstacle, what's happening is you're going through growth. And there again is your choice. You can choose to embrace it or you can choose to fight it. And what happened was I decided to take these obstacles, and I've had a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you have had them. I have a lot in my personal life, but I reframed how I look at them. And because of all the personal growth and the trainings, and when we had events, now we have virtual events and the books and everything that's shared, I approach it differently. And now I take that experience and I share it with our team. So if someone is going through a divorce, if someone doesn't have a weight loss story, if someone's struggling to bring on clients, I'm there. I'm there to share my experience, to link arms with them and know that I've been there, I've done that, let's do this together. So I just want to finish with something that we always talk about called E plus R equals O. E being event, R being response, and O being the outcome. So when we look at a obstacle, it can either be, it's happening to me again, forget it, I'm not going to do the work today, I'm never going to build this. Or it could be, okay, how do I take this? How do I move forward? And how do I continue building my business? So it's all about choice. And I just hope that this brought value, and know that you will have obstacles. Dig deep into that why to move through them until you get to a space that you see them as a gift. So anyways, thank you, Michelle.
Oh, thank you, Joy. That was so beautiful. And like, I love how you just share from the heart. And I know that that was so powerful for so many of us. How many of you guys got so many nuggets out of that? So thank you, Joy. I mean, I love literally your story. Every time you share is just incredible. What a way to start the morning off. Honestly, that was really, really powerful. Thank you, Joy. So let's start, let's get into the next thing, you guys. As you know, client support is such a key of growth in our business. Am I right? I mean, that's probably the key point of our business is client support. You're transforming someone's entire life, and it all starts with how you're supporting them. And that's why we want to give exceptional client support, everything that we do, right? And through every single habit. And that's why we're including client support in every single thing, because for all of us, as we start working with clients, there are going to be some obstacles, right? And it's just how we work through that. So for all things client support, that really ties into this habit of transformational leadership, there is no one greater to come on than integrated regional director Kelly Floyd. Kelly Floyd, my friend, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I'm going to try, guys, to channel my inner joy and speak a little more slowly than I usually do, and maybe a little bit more calmly. But I am so honored today to get to talk to y'all about providing impeccable client support. But I'm not going to talk about this through the lens of check-ins and timing and structured day of support, even though all of those things are incredibly important. I'm going to talk to you about client support through the lens of the relationship that happens between a client and a coach when you partner to go on a journey, such as the ones that we go on. I'm going to talk about the reciprocal relationship that exists between a client and a coach. I'm going to talk about the way when you give impeccable client support, you, the coach, benefits and changes just as much, if not more, than the client. It's so funny how coaching does this, but it reveals to me all of my weaknesses and all of the ways that I need to grow and change. Guys, I'm going to talk to you about how using our habit of transformational leadership, embrace the obstacle as the way, shows up time and time again on a journey, and it creates so many opportunities for growth. But before I do all of that, I want to tell each of you that these things I'm going to teach you aren't things I came up with because I'm super brilliant and an amazing coach who gives impeccable client support. These are things I have learned on my own journey as both a client and a coach through many failures and mess ups, and yes, you guessed it, obstacles. These are things taught to me by mentors and the leaders of Optavia. This learning and now teaching is a result of countless hours of sitting at the knees of the people, just like the ones that we've been listening to this week, the ones that have been training us. Guys, I sat there and I soaked up all of their vast knowledge and experience. And much of that experience and knowledge gained, I'm sure, by those leaders was by them embracing the obstacle as the way for growth and being willing to learn from that growth and those obstacles and that discomfort. I share that because I'm just like you. There's nothing special about me that makes what I do superior or better than what you do or what you're capable of. I think y'all know this by now because I share really openly and honestly, but I started out as a horrible coach, but I had a giant heart and I was tenacious enough not to give up and quit. I share this with you guys so you can say to yourself, she's just a normal person. And if she can do it, so can I. It just takes time and diligence on your part and the commitment not to quit. Guys, you cannot fail at being a coach, truly, unless you quit. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get to it. All right, so I think impeccable client support comes down to a few things. I think it comes down to trust, integration, posturing, awakening, and guidance. For you guys who are note takers, I'm going to say it again. Trust, integration, posturing, awakening, and guidance. I think it would be remiss if I didn't also share a few things impeccable client support is not. It isn't being solely responsible for the client's journey. Guys, you aren't responsible for their journey, they are. It isn't answering every single question that they have. Of course, we can answer some of their questions, but it's much better to guide them to those answers. It isn't being available to the client 24/7. Emily told me one time that there is nothing about client support that is life or death. And she's right. It isn't fixing all the client problems. And honestly, I could probably go on and on, mostly because I could have written the book on this one. I have done almost all of those things wrong at some point, right? So let's dig into the things that you should do to provide impeccable client support. So you heard yesterday that Rachel mentioned trust deposits. You've probably heard Jamil talk about establishing trust. When Rachel said trust deposits yesterday, some of you probably were like, oh, yes, trust deposits. I got it. And others of you were probably scratching your heads thinking, what does that even mean? And to answer that, I ask you to think back to your own journey and how and why you began to trust your coach. What maybe they did or didn't do, what made you do the things that your coach was asking you to do? What made you get uncomfortable when your coach asked you to do things that made you uncomfortable? What made you know that they were dependable? Go ahead, throw some of those things in the chat. Let's see what people say. What do we got? I'm gonna look over here. Anyone got anything that made them trust? Okay, their success. Good. Bernie says their success. Maybe so. Consistency, called when they said they would. They did the same actions, patience with their timetable, not pushing. Perfect. I love it. So check out the chat if you want to know how to earn trust. I'm going to give you a couple of things that came to my mind when I thought about that. Maybe they called when they said they would, and somebody said that in the chat. Trust deposit. Maybe they told you what to expect, and they were right. Trust deposit. Maybe they honored you by listening without interrupting or trying to fix it for you when you shared your pain points. Trust deposit. All of those things that may seem so very small and maybe even insignificant to you as a coach are truly, really just trust deposits for the client. And those trust deposits build and build. Do you know why that's important though? Why do you think having trust is important? I'm looking. I'm waiting. The chat's a little slow. They open up. Yep, your clients begin to open up to you. What else? Why else would trust be important to impeccable client support? Looking to see. There's no relationship without trust. 100%. So I'm going to help you out with that one too. As a coach, we are going to eventually ask them to do something uncomfortable, right? We're going to ask them to trust us, that it will be okay and they'll be better for it, right? I had a celebration call with a coach on my team last night, and it was one of her clients. And I don't have a ton of trust built with that client, but we built some trust over that call, and she has some major trust going on with her coach. They have a really good relationship. And I asked her to do something. I asked her to actually shout her coach out and write a referral for her coach. And I explained to her that that was going to close her escape hatch. Do you think that that's something that someone will do if they don't have trust for you? No. Right, Melody, no. They aren't going to do that. So we have to really work to build that trust. And if we have that, we're going to have a better chance of them doing what we're asking them to do. So I'm going to share a scenario of what happens when you don't have trust, because I want y'all to have these things to compare to. If your coach scheduled a health assessment and was like 30 minutes late calling you with no text to explain why they were late, because I mean, we all know crap happens, right? Would you feel very good about that? Probably not. So then maybe you hop on the phone. The entire time you do the health assessment, they talk over you, they interrupt you, and they don't really listen to you. How do you think you'd feel about that? Not real good. But maybe you're desperate. Maybe you're desperate and you just sign up anyway. And they say that they're going to send you some information, and then they don't. And they say that they're going to add you to a group, and then they don't. And then your box comes, you reach out to them, you're like, hey, what do I need to do? And they do get on the pre-start call. They do a couple of the days 1 through 4 check-ins, and then nothing. Do you think that you would trust that coach? Do you think that you would have a good journey? Or do you think you'd probably quit and be like, screw this? Guys, trust is important. It is like one of the most important things. And we get trust by doing the things that we talked about earlier, which is showing up, honoring our word, letting them know what to expect. Guys, the likelihood that they are going to trust us goes up the more we show up. So that is just a great example of how being a coach makes us better. It makes us show up better. It makes us transform. It makes us more, I mean, it puts us in integrity. Honestly, it puts us in integrity. And it really is a great way to set expectation and rules for your journey. And it's a great way to set appropriate boundaries. And guys, don't forget, from the get-go, when you first say hello to this person who might become your client one day, you're teaching and modeling what a coach looks like from the start. So do it well and establish trust. So now that we have trust going, I hope that the client will be very open to integration and having you guide them as their coach. Ultimately, we want clients to participate in all the components of our program: one-on-one coaching, team coaching, behavioral and education system, using our life book and the Habits of Health book. We want them to get on those Wednesday night calls. We want them to be in the community Facebook group. We want them to buy into the nutrition. Here's the thing though. In order for our clients to integrate well and understand the importance of integration, we have to provide amazing value of these components. And I'm not going to get in too deeply about this because Rachel did a beautiful job talking about this yesterday and giving you all the amazing verbiage to use to integrate your clients well. But I do want to highlight that one of the most important things she said yesterday, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know exactly how she said it. She says things way better than me, but it's this: if you yourself aren't utilizing the components of our program and able to speak from experience and with passion about how they have changed your life, so experientially, how likely is it that your clients will find value in the components? It's definitely a point to sit with and ponder, right? And get honest with yourself about. Again, this goes back to the integrity of your business and how you show up. We want to show up well for our clients, but in order to do that, we have to show up well for ourselves first. I'm sure, like many of you, you probably said to a client, it's really important to take time for yourself and to pour into yourself. Spend 5 minutes a day in your life book. but maybe we ourselves aren't walking that walk. Are you? Bottom line, if you're asking your client to do something that you aren't willing to do, I doubt you're going to have much success. Our program is for everyone, and we say that everyone can benefit from it. So you better bet I'm using it every single day to meet my goals. And that gives my clients a better chance of meeting their goals. Now let's talk about posturing. You guys are so lucky, by the way. You got schooled yesterday by the master of posturing. She laid it out for you and how to posture, not just this program, but the 4 components and the importance of the 4 components and the breaking down each of those components and how to posture the pieces that make up these components. Guys, we literally got handed the golden verbiage if you want to use it. But being good at posturing expectations and what will happen is a skill. Let me say that again. Being good at posturing expectations and what will happen is a skill. That's something that you'll practice and get better and better and better at. And as a result, you'll begin to say things like, I don't have any trouble getting my clients to integrate. I don't have any trouble getting my clients on those Wednesday night calls. All of my clients are in the life book. If you get good at posturing expectations and value, integration becomes easy. Do you see how that works? So your client's crazy integrated. They're just killing it on program. And they're kind of outgrowing you, which is awesome and part of the master plan, right? But in all of that, don't forget awakening and guidance. The life book honestly makes this super duper easy. But to me, awakening means asking lots of questions so that your client can begin to see the amazingness that lives inside of them. You can't awaken someone by telling them what's true about them. You can say it till you're blue in the face. It's not until you begin to awaken them that the light bulb is going to come on and they're going to begin to see the glimmers at first and then the full amazingness of what they're truly capable of. So you might be thinking, like, what kind of questions do you ask? What should I be asking? Well, asking good questions is important, but I think even more important is becoming curious, becoming interested in their story and the why underneath it all. Because if you ask enough questions, you always get to the root of the problem and they identify an area to work on. Let me hear you say that again. They identify an area to work on. And then you guide them to the place they can learn more about that and integrate further. So I'm going to share an actual conversation that happened yesterday. I actually wrote it out so I could read it. So let me go over here and find it. This happened on check-ins yesterday, and I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to share that tomorrow because it's a great way to give an example of how I just ask questions to get to it. So when I do a check-in call, the first thing that I always ask is, how was your week on program? That's the first thing I say. And this particular client said, well, I was doing great. Then I got stressed out and I blew it. And I said, tell me more about that. Favorite question. Jamil, Rachel, Emily, all of them asked this question. I'm just following their clues. And she says, well, my daughter and her boyfriend got diagnosed with COVID. So I made her this amazing casserole she loves, and we were going to take it up to her. And I'm out of my bars, so I didn't have any to take, any take and go fuelings. I didn't want to stop and eat a salad on the way. And when we got there, they had lost their sense of taste. So I ate some of the casserole, so it didn't go to waste. I know it's an excuse, but that's what happened. Now, y'all heard Rachel say this before. I'm not the food police. She ate the casserole. Big whoop. There's nothing I can do about that. But I can figure out why she ate the casserole. What was underneath that? So here's how I did that. I said, okay, how are you feeling? And what were you thinking before you ate the casserole? And she said, well, I was feeling stressed about her being sick and they hadn't been bringing her food because she's a graduate student. I was worried and I didn't want the casserole to go to waste. Now, guys, we know the casserole wouldn't go to waste. You can freeze a casserole, but I'm not here to tell her that. So I say, well, what story do you think you told yourself about your feelings? And she said, well, that I deserved it because I was stressed. And I said, well, was that story true? Did you deserve it? And she said, well, I thought I did at the time, but then I just felt ashamed and then angry that I had done the same thing I always do again. Oh, she's starting to come to the realization on her own, right? And so I said, so I just want to make sure I'm clear. So you think you ate the casserole because you were stressed? Were you able to use Stop, Challenge, Choose? And she said, I didn't even use the tool because I knew it would work. Okay. So that tells me something. I'm like, oh, drama triangle, below the line. Let's talk about that. And I said, because she'd already read element 4. Can you remind me what you told me you learned in element 4 about the line and below the line, like above the line and below the line thinking and the drama triangle? She said, yes. And she explained the whole thing to me. And I said, okay, so do you think you were above the line or below the line when you made that decision? She's like, totally below the line. And I said, do you think you were in the drama triangle? She's like, yes, totally in the drama triangle. And I said, okay, which player do you think you were in the drama triangle? She was like, oh, I was definitely the villain because I sabotaged myself. But I was also being the victim because I told myself I deserved the casserole because I was stressed. Boom, boom, boom. Self-awareness, guys, this is good, right? And then I said, do you think maybe using stop, challenge, and choose with the emotion you were feeling instead of with the food might have been helpful? And she said, well, that sure is a thought to ponder. I've never thought to use it on an emotion. I don't deal well with emotions. Guys, she's just identified her issue. I don't deal well with emotions. I didn't have to do it for her. She did it. And I said, gosh, how have you dealt with emotions? And she says, I eat so I don't feel them. And I said, oh, I think it may be helpful for you to move to element 23. This element's going to piggyback on what you learned in 4, and it's going to dig deeper into how to manage emotions. Do you want to do that? And she said, oh my gosh, that would be wonderful to be able to manage my emotions in a different way. So guys, we just need to meet these people where they are and love them where they are and awaken and guide them exactly like that. Are you guys beginning to see how when you coach in this way, it doesn't just transform the client, it transforms you, the coach. It empowers you. It awakens you. It helps you begin to see the potential and the possibility far beyond yourself and how truly amazing and genius the system that Dr. A's created is. I had a client tell me the other day after just a week on program, when we brought up coaching and building community, she said, I'm not sure if Optavia needs me as a coach, but I'm pretty sure that I need to coach with Optavia. The truth is we all do. We are better because of it. We use the big obstacles to grow our clients and help them overcome patterns, but we too do that as coaches. I've often thought that coaching highlights the very parts in me that need growth. So I want y'all to go. I want you to seek growth for you and your clients and transform them and yourself in the process by providing impeccable client support. That's all I got, guys.
That's all you got. You just dropped the mic. Like you just took us to school today. Was that not incredible? That was so powerful. And even in those stories and just giving that example of like how simple it is to awaken someone to know the root of their problem. That was so good, Kelly. I mean, what I love so much. I mean, throw some things in the chat that you learned from that and that you took away from that. Let's blow up that chat because that was so amazing. Thank you, my friend. And that kind of leads into the next, right? We're giving amazing client support. We are building that trust, right? We're integrating them. We're, everything that Kelly said, we're posturing, we're awakening, and we're guiding them. And that's going to now lead into the next thing, because what is a bloodline? I want you to post it in the chat. What is the bloodline of our business? Does anyone know? Put it in the chat. I'm going to wait to see what is the bloodline of our business. As we are now, obviously, having our clients, and now we're going to move on to the next thing. And that's going to be sponsoring, you guys. Sponsoring really is that bloodline. That is the gold mine of what we offer with Optavia. And as we are building this trust and we're building this trust deposit with our clients, you know how much easier it is to approach coaching with them once they have that trust in you moving forward. And that's what we're going to get into next. Is really sponsoring and dealing with that habit 3, right? Seeking growth as we're here to grow our team. We're here to grow our dream team. And now moving forward, we're talking about sponsoring. And so I'm actually really excited for this next section because, as you know, sponsoring is the gold mine, you guys. And, working with coaches and really awakening them to a life of more really creates that ultimate growth in our business. But at times, right, we face those obstacles as we're trying to grow our dream team. And I know that many of you watching, were part of our Freedom Series training last month, and we actually had this training. And so you saw our next speaker give this training, and it was seriously so incredible. And there was so much breakthrough in this that we had to bring it back, and we had to show everyone else really what it looks like to create your dream team, as we're now working in that next step of working with coaches, and just obviously sponsoring. So I'm really excited to bring on for this integrated regional director, Micah King. Micah, my friend, take it away.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here this morning with you and really talk about what it is to build a dream team. So this morning, I'm going to talk about the idea of an integrated presidential business and what does that look like. So, so an integrated presidential business is 5 ED teams and 5 FIBIC teams, and that's it. You're at the top of the company, right? That seems so easy. It's like, okay, 5 ED teams, 5 FIBIC teams, there you go, let's do this. And so that's it. Okay, but how do we get there? Because I think a lot of us have found, wow, it's not coming like overnight, right? It's actually going to take some work. So what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to show you the Optavia business through a deck of cards and see what it takes. See what it takes to build an Optavia business with, you know, the example of this deck of cards. So, okay, first of all, I have to tell you, like, I love this deck of cards for this illustration because it's my daughter's deck and it's got a unicorn. And I just feel like it's just so perfect to do this analogy with bringing on coaches because we're looking for those unicorns. And so this deck of cards is like super cool for this analogy and I love it. So, so it takes about sponsoring 60 coaches to hit IPD. And this deck has 54 cards. So, so it's going to have some jokers in it. It's going to have the aces in it. It's going to have face cards in it. And just so you know that it takes 1 out of 2 coaches that will become senior coach. It's about 1 out of 3 coaches or 1 out of 3 senior coaches that will become EDs and 1 out of 2 EDs that will become FIBIC. So if this is your deck of cards, this is your Optavia business, you're going to need to turn over 8 face cards and 4 aces. And in order to find those cards, you're looking at flipping this entire deck, which means you need to be sponsoring. Michelle just talked about that. Like you have to be sponsoring. That is the bloodline of the company of building this business. And so some of you are probably thinking, okay, I was dealt a bad hand because my deck has no aces. And I just want to tell you that it's not true. Just because it's just that you haven't turned over enough cards yet. Okay, so like I said, in this deck, I left the jokers. The jokers are going to be the unicorns. Every once in a while, you get a unicorn, and then your business really gets fun. And so it's going to be, you know, it's going to get exciting. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start flipping. This is your business. This is my business. We're going to start flipping these cards over, and we're going to see where this business goes. Okay, so I've kind of shuffled this deck up. And so I'm not really sure like how it's going to go. We're just going to see. This is, you know, what it looks like when we jump into coaching, we start sponsoring. We don't know how it's going to go. Okay. So we're going to start flipping and this is going to be our first coach. Now think about all the excitement that comes up when you bring on that first coach and it's like, oh my gosh, I was, you know, like this person has so much potential. I'm so excited to bring them on. And then we bring them on and they are a 2. Now I like to throw this out there. Like the value of these cards does not equal the value of a person. This is just really the transactional part of like what it is to build a business and what they do within the business. So a 2, they don't really do much. You bring on your first coach, you give them all the training, they didn't really do much. That's just the way it goes sometimes. So, all right, what do we do next? We keep sponsoring. So we bring on another coach. Oh, a 3. Oh, bummer. So a 3. Okay, so now I brought on 2 coaches. They're not really doing much. Okay, well, let's just keep going. A 6. All right, well, maybe a 6 brought on a client. And so, okay, we're gonna have maybe some momentum, maybe not, but probably one client is going to be about what they do. They just want to help their mom, their dad, and, you know, some family and friends. That was kind of it. And that's, you know, that's now I've got 3 coaches and it feels like a lot of work, but I'm just going to keep going. So what do I have? Okay, a 4. So now here's what I want to just encourage you with is that it can get, well, I guess it can get discouraging. So I'll just tell you, like with my business, I actually brought on 4 coaches that maybe brought on about a client or 2 each, and I was getting discouraged. So think about like, would you be discouraged if you had 4 coaches and none of them even hit senior coach? So what was I dealt a bad hand? No, I just need to keep sponsoring. And that can be discouraging when you feel like, oh, I have these 4 coaches and I was so excited for everything that they were going to do. And they're not going forward. They're not moving forward in the business. So that's okay. I'm going to do what my mentors say, and I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to keep flipping. Oh, I got a 10. Okay. A 10, I think, as a senior coach. So, these lower cards, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's no ones in the deck, but up to like maybe 7, those are people that didn't really bring on many clients, maybe 1, maybe 9, 10s. Those are going to be our senior coaches. Face cards are going to be like our EDs. And then, we're going to have some aces in there and jokers, and those are going to be our FIBIC teams. So I got a senior coach. Well, that's exciting. All right. So, okay, I'm encouraged. I'm going to keep going. All right. So let's see. An 8. Okay. Maybe another senior coach, like kind of hit it, kind of dropping out, not quite doing too much with it. We'll just put them over here, but I got this one senior coach and I'm happy about that. All right. Okay. Another senior coach. So do you see how many cards, like I brought on now a total of 7 coaches, and I've got 2 senior coaches. So why am I not seeing that ratio of like, okay, if 1 out of 2 coaches becomes senior coach, then how come I'm not seeing the ratio of that yet? Well, it's just because look at how many cards I have not turned over yet. So in order for you to see those ratios, you have to keep bringing on the coaches. You've got to keep sponsoring the clients. All right. So I'm going to keep going. And I got a 6. So would you be a little bit discouraged with your business if this is kind of how it was going? Yeah, you'd think, okay, maybe I was dealt a bad hand. And is this coach maybe going to get close to like giving up on bringing on coaches? Maybe. And maybe they'll stay in the business, but they stop sponsoring because it's a lot of work to bring on coaches. So, so thinking about just the idea of bringing on coaches and the work that goes into it and all the health assessments and all of that, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to bring on coaches anymore. I'm just going to do my health assessments and beef up my frontline volume and just go about it that way. That's going to get really tiring. So just encourage you to like listen to your mentor team, keep sponsoring. Okay. So we're going to keep going. Okay. All right. I like, look at how many coaches I brought on, and I only have these 2 senior coaches. Like I'm done. So be real right now. Maybe this is you. Maybe this is, your business right now and you're discouraged. How many of you are discouraged right now? How many of you feel like, okay, this is just not, like, this isn't working the way I see other coaches, their business is working. I feel like other coaches are bringing on senior coaches and they've got EDs and they're ranking up and doing all these things, and not my business. I'm barely got my 2 senior coaches and I'm doing all this work. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. This would be a kind of a discouraging business. It's okay. It does happen this way, but look at that. Okay, so now all that practice on all those coaches, I got my first face card. Okay, I did my practicing. I am good. Now I'm on fire, right? I got this down. I got the system going. I'm like, yeah, I got my face card. Oh, and now I got another senior coach. Okay, woo, I'm on fire now. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Okay. Oh, I told you guys, I don't even know like what some of these are. So I didn't know this was coming up, but I got a joker. So that is a true unicorn. Like I got a joker in here. Okay. I got a good team. I would be FIBC by now. Okay. So I'm fully integrated, and this is this business is starting to take off. So finally I've got a rhythm. I've got a routine. I'm good. I'm going. And then I get another senior coach. Do you guys see how this kind of works? Oh, and then I got another face card. Woo. All right. So we keep sponsoring, and they're in here. Those coaches are in here. You may not bring them all in the beginning, or it may seem like you take a while to bring them on, but the fact of the matter is that they are still here. None of us got dealt a bad hand. It's just that it's the amount of coaches we're willing to keep sponsoring, keep bringing on, in order for us to find those coaches, to find those face cards, those unicorns, those rock star coaches. Okay. So we take too much credit when our coaches are doing well, and we criticize ourselves way too much when they don't do well. So what's our responsibility in bringing on coaches? Well, we have all the systems. We offer the coaching to them. We show them the path. to build an amazing business, and we give them access to amazing trainings like these. Okay. If they do not have the desire, the drive, the discipline, then there's nothing we can do about it. You can't put those things in them. They have to want it. We can teach the skills, but we can't teach the heart. Okay, so now my business has got some rock stars. I'm moving, I'm grooving, I'm doing amazing things. And then I get a 7. Okay, I'm a little bit, what happened? Oh, and then a 6. What the heck happened to my business? Like, I must have lost my jive with it all. How come those guys didn't make it? Like, I'm a pro at this now. What's going on? Okay. But see, then I got an ace. So here's the thing is like, it's not gonna be up to us to, decide what these coaches do. We see the potential in them. We look at that card and we think, okay, that's a unicorn. They have so much potential. They have so much that they can do in this business. And we know what this business has to offer and the blessings that it has to offer. And we look at them and we think, oh my gosh, you are going to do amazing things. And we're not going to know what they're going to do until we actually start working with them. So then we flip it over and we're like, you had so much potential, but you only brought on one client. Like, we get a little bit bummed because we want it so badly for them. And then they don't see it. And so what do? Do we get hung up by the whole thing, or do we just keep moving forward? Because we know that the business is going to be an amazing thing for us if we just keep going. And so we just keep moving forward. Okay. So, and then I get an ace. All right. Now here's what I'm going to caution you with. Okay. So I've got all these rock stars over here. At this point, you could probably be tempted to spend all of your time with these rock star coaches. The income is pretty good. Things are doing well, but you've stopped short. You're stopping short of what else is possible. And I want to give you this caution, okay? There's a danger here. There's a danger with having all of these wonderful coaches and stopping short. Because you see, the greatest enemy of future success is your current success. That even when you flip through this entire deck, are you done? No, you grab another deck. Like I got another deck right here, and this one's really cool. It's pink and shiny, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go through all these cards, and then I'm going to grab another deck. So don't stop short. Don't sell yourself short from building this amazing business because there's so much potential if you just keep going. So no matter where we are, we need to keep flipping. We need to keep close to our mentorship team. We've got the systems. Some will, some won't. We just keep flipping over the cards. Most coaches, they don't even hit 30 coaches on their team. What a bummer. Okay. Like if I was looking at this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like this is like, I quit. I quit this business. It stinks. What a bunch of crap. No, don't. You just keep flipping. You just keep going with your business. Don't give up. A lot of times we're hitting these walls and really success is just on the other side if we just keep going, okay? We just keep going and we keep flipping. And we got to remember, we're going to bring on low cards. But you know what? We just start getting into the systems. It doesn't phase us anymore. We can bring on low cards. That's okay. That's okay. It's not going to phase us. All right. We just keep going. So I know that everybody's businesses are in different places, but you got to find your 12, you got to find your team, and they're in here. You're not dealt a bad hand. You just got to keep going with it. All right. So that's an amazing analogy that I love as a integrated presidential business examples.
Wow, was that not so good, you guys? That visual of what she just brought, that fire of what she just brought was absolutely incredible. And she is so dead truth, you guys, that is the key to your business right there. Is sometimes we stop ourselves too short, right? We're flipping and flipping and flipping, and we just keep getting, bad cards. And they're not bad cards, you guys. Remember, sometimes you want it more for them than they want it for themselves. We just got to find the ones that want it for themselves, that want it more than the others. And that was so good, you guys. I mean, let's throw up some love for Micah. What did you learn in that? I mean, I know in the Facebook, blow that up with hearts and emojis and whatever you want, because that was so good. And I hope that was really powerful for you guys to really see the visual of what an IPD business is. And, what she showed you. I mean, you see the stack that she had to begin with, that it was just low cards. And what she ended with was probably what I saw was like an integrated global business, so it's all about just keep going. Don't stop. Don't sell yourself short. Just keep going, because you never know when you're going to pull that ace card, whenever you're going to pull that integrated presidential business on your team. So good, Micah. Thank you so much. So powerful. All right, guys. You're probably going to run just a few minutes over, but this next part is going to be so incredible for you all to be a part of, because as we know, culture in this business and in this company is everything, right? In any kind of company, culture is everything. And all our culture in Optavia is really what makes us different than anything else out there. So I'm really excited to bring on Integrated National Director Priscilla Allen to come on and just share how our culture in Optavia really ties into this habit. So Priscilla, my friend.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, today has just been amazing so far. Like, I've been doing this for years and I still have a ton of notes, because every time you do this, you just, somebody says something and you just hear it for the first time. So thank you to all the speakers, but I want to talk a little bit about culture today, and what our Optavia culture is, what it is and who we are, right? So just a little breakdown of what culture is. Culture is the characteristics of a group of people, right? It's the way of life for an organization. So in addition to social and economic benefits, intrinsic value is something that is added to people when they are part of an organization. So what is our culture at Optavia? Who are we? So I want to start from the very beginning. I want to go back to when you were a client, okay? What was probably one of the first things you told your coach on a health assessment? I just want to lose weight. Put a 1 on the chat if this is what you told your coach when you started the program on the health assessment. I just need to lose 20 pounds. I just want to lose weight, right? We probably saw this program as the next thing I'm going to give a try. I've tried so many things. I'm just try one more thing. I just need to lose weight, right? But what happened when you began to peel the layers of each of the component of our program? Didn't you realize that this program was more than what we bargained for? Here you came and you're just like, oh man, maybe it's just another diet, right? But as you begin to peel the layers of each component and everything, you realize, oh my gosh, this is just way more than I thought than what it was, right? So it's the same when we become health coaches, right? When we become health coaches, we have these near expectations and dreams. For me personally, I just wanted to make $1,000 a month. I told Jamil, if I can make $1,000 a month, I don't got to go back to work. Let's do this. That's all I need. It was these mere little expectations. But what happened as I began to peel the layers of the culture of our organization, things began to change. I was like, okay, this is more than what I thought it was. This is crazy. Like, this can affect my entire life. And so as you begin to dive deep, as you begin to peel the layers of our culture, right? You begin to experience the community. You begin to strategize and dream with your mentorship team. You dive deep into these boot camps. Like, you realize that this is more than just a little side thing. You realize that this is more than just something little that, oh, maybe I can do this, maybe not. So just like we thought this was just a diet and we realize it's more, as coaches, we come in with those mere expectations and then we come to realize that this is more. So why are we different? Why is our culture different? Let me tell you why, okay? One simple answer. At Optavia, we strive for excellence. We strive to become the best versions of ourselves in terms of our body, our minds, our finances, our spirits, our souls. That is our goal, to become the best version of us and bring other people along with us. Because when you are able to optimize your health like this, when you're able to align all these things like this, we're living our best lives, right? Our culture is constantly expanding. We are a part of a creative model. That's the truth, right? We're a generation of visionaries. And so the first habit of our transformational leadership says we lead from the future and we act in the now. So we become visionaries, right? In our first meet and greet, or maybe in our celebrations, we start talking about dreams. We start talking about, what does your life look like 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Because when we have that future in mind, this is the only way we're going to alter our actions and our behaviors. So this is part of our culture, becoming visionaries and seeing where we want to go with our lives, because we have one life to live. I want to encourage you guys all to live it, to the best. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, Optavia has given me an amazing life. So this is part of our culture, right? Another part of our culture is actually the abundance versus the scarcity mindset, right? We have that abundance mindset. And before, I didn't know what this meant, right? Before Optavia, my husband and I were these broke people. Even though we made really good money in our previous jobs, we were these broke people that just never figured it out. We lived paycheck to paycheck. We were always scared and anxious and fearful. We culture and cultivate the abundance mindset. So what does this mean? Let's go to the scarcity mindset. This part means that when we think things are scarce, we think there's not enough for everybody. So we operate with anxiety, with fear, we operate with stress, right? On the other hand, the abundant mindset comes from a place where we know we are worth it, right? Where we have this inner sense of personal worth and security. So it's grounded on the belief that there is enough for everyone. And this is one of the reasons why we don't take coach coppers. This is one of the reasons why we don't take clients from our community sites. This is one of the reasons why we place our monthly orders in the beginning of the month. This is one of the reasons why we don't Facebook friends from our coaching partners, because we come from a place of abundance where we know there is enough for everyone. Integrity is huge, right? Integrity is key. And that's what I love about our culture, that integrity is at the forefront of everything that we do. In our culture, we also seek growth and we embrace obstacles as the way, just like all the ladies said before me actually. And what does this mean? This means that there's a very fine line. There is a fine line between ordinary and extraordinary, okay? Ordinary and extraordinary. When you live under that line, when things happen to you, we believe they happen to us, right? And so we blame people. We make excuses. We don't take responsibility. We just kind of point the finger at everybody. But when we operate above the line, it means we take responsibility for ourselves. We take ownership, right? And we get into action. And so in Optavia, we believe that we have the power to redefine our stories. I mean, you have the power to change the destiny of your story. And that is what we teach. That is what our culture is all about. Because if you want to change your life, you can change it. Anybody can. I don't care what your background is. If you want more in your life, this vehicle, this culture will get you to that place. So we seek growth and we embrace obstacles as the way. We recognize that these obstacles, they pave the way to greatness, right? So we can sit down, we can cry, we can pout and be like, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. And then what happens? We get back into our comfort zone and we don't experience the greatness that we can experience when we actually utilize those obstacles as the way. In our culture as well, oh man, I have notes and now I'm all over the place. In our culture as well. Okay, so when I talk about embracing those obstacles, it's very important that we see things that they're happening for us, right? They're not happening to us, they're happening for us. And so I want to encourage you that when you want to get to the next place, this is what I want to say. Okay, I got my thoughts all together again. When you want to get to the next place, when you want to experience that growth, you know what's going to happen? You're going to disrupt the waves. You're going to disrupt the waters around you and chaos is going to ensue. And this is going to happen. And I love to tell the coaches on my team, you know what? These are birthing pains because you're growing, or knee pains, you know, when like little kids are growing, their knees hurt. Those growth pains, they hurt. But if we don't embrace those, we don't grow. And so when you're ready to take this to the next level, if you're ED and you want to get to that pivot level, I will tell you right now, my friends, you are going to experience chaos. You are going to disrupt the waters around you. And what are you going to do at that point? At that point, I want to encourage you to take those waves and ride them, my friends, because this is the only way we are going to experience the life that we want to create. In our culture, we also encourage the sponsoring mindset, right? Micah just talked about the sponsoring mindset, and our mission is to get America and to get the world healthy. But how are we going to do this alone? I mean, I can only help a handful of people, but if I bring people with me, if I bring other people that can bring other people that can change other people's lives and other people's life, the ripple effect is insane. It is crazy. So if you can put on your sponsoring glasses and you can see that this program and this culture and this organization is bigger than yourself, if you can see that, man, you can create massive impact, which is pretty amazing, right? Sometimes I get on these calls with people and I'm just like, so how do you know this person? And how do you know this person? And how do you know that person? And I realize that my yes brought so many people from different areas in life, from, I mean, circles that we weren't even connected at some point, and it brought us together. It brought us for a bigger purpose. People started changing their lives and they started bringing other people. So the ripple effect is crazy. So in our culture, we want to encourage a sponsoring mindset, because this is the only way we are going to create massive impact. As we sponsor more people, we bring impact. We bring more impact. You know, we are going to create a massive wave as well around us, in our environment, in our local surroundings, in our healthy surroundings and whatnot. And as you can tell, you know, we are not an MLM company. We get paid to coach and to help people and to bring impact. We don't seek recruiters. We don't seek distributors. That is not us. Our goal is to bring value to people. Our goal is to find the people that are looking for us, who want to experience breakthrough, who are tired of being sick and tired of the same thing. We want to bring breakthrough to those people, and that's what we do as coaches. We help people transform. We help people transform in their bodies and their minds and their finances and their souls and their spirits. That's what we do. That is our culture. So I want to encourage you guys to go out there and to share this gift with people. Share it with everybody, because when we come from this place in our hearts where, hey, you know what? I have this amazing gift that can change your life. Why don't we just open it together and explore what this can look like for you? My friend, you can impact people you don't even know today. And I always tell the new coaches on my team, just stay, because who you are today is not who you're going to be next year. Because when you hang out with people that are wanting to level up, that are wanting to become the best versions of themselves, that kind of rubs off on you. You kind of want to become the same thing, and you kind of want to be that way, right? We're the average of the 5 people we hang out with the most. So when you're hanging out with people and you're, you know, hanging out with people that are just talking about dreams and goals and business and strategizing, but we're not gossiping, we're not talking about shows, we're not talking about the next Netflix series or whatever, you want to become like that. And here's the thing, you know what is beautiful about what we do? We meet people right where they're at. I don't care where you're at. We will meet you right where you are at. That is the beautiful thing about this. We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different, you know, places. We all have different muck. We all have different clay. We all have different things we're going to have to chip off on our own, right? But we provide an environment where anybody that wants to thrive can thrive. And that is what our culture is all about. It's about helping people with long-term success. It's about lifelong transformation. So I want to encourage you today to look at our organization that way. Don't look at this as like the next MLM you're doing. Don't look at this as the next, I just want to sell this product. No, because that's not who we are. We are transformational coaches. We are agents of transformation. We seek to help people change. And that is exactly what you can do. And this, my friend, is what Optavia is all about. This is the Optavia way. Michelle, back to you, my friend.
Wow, you just preached it to us. What a beautiful way to really close out today and really go through the culture of this business and how we are part of something so much more special than so special, honestly. So thank you, Priscilla. That was so good. She literally just brought the fire like she always does. What a way to end today. And I really hope today, you guys, that you really leave encouraged and inspired that we are our own worst enemy, right? We are our own worst. We get in our own way. This business, it's so simple. It is such a simple business. It's such an easy business, but the only thing that stops us from reaching our goals and what we want to be is ourselves. So I hope this encourages you to get out of your own way and to continue to strive for what it is that you want, because you can build such a beautiful life with Optavia if you just don't give up. We give up too quickly, right? If you just don't give up, give yourself that time to really grow, you will be so amazed. So thank you to all the presenters today, all the speakers, for bringing so much life into us and for taking their time. So I know we are out of time. So I'm going to be posting the action steps into the group. When I post them, I want everyone, if you see it, you like it, to make sure that you see it. Make sure that you react to it, that you like that post, because let me tell you guys, is you can be on this training, right, every single day and be hyped up for a few hours, hyped up for your day. But this training, just listening, is not going to grow your business. Let me repeat that again. Just listening to this training is not going to grow your business. If you want to grow your business, you need to get into action, right? That is the only way for you to grow your business. We can teach you the skill sets. We can teach you literally how to build an IPD business, but it takes you to actually go do it, to actually do the action steps, because we're writing the action steps that's going to take you to grow, right? So I encourage you, there's 5 action steps that are going to be posted today. I encourage you all to do them. Find the time, put that bullet, put that that into your calendar, write that rock into your calendar for you to do that today. Because if you're looking for growth, you really get there and just grow, you really have to get into action and actually do these action steps. So thank you again for everyone for being on. We hope you have a good rest of your day. Make sure that you look on the page, stay connected, and do the action steps for the day. So you guys have a great rest of your day.